infrastructure.
And we'll show you how Lexington students are giving back on this Giving Tuesday.
This is WKYT News at 5:30.
Good evening to you. After a year
of tragic events in Madison County, city leaders are trying to bring light and joy this holiday season. And the CDC has expanded its vaccine guidance as concern over the new coronavirus variant known as Omicron grows.
Showers continue to head towards the mountains for the daytime hours on Wednesday. I'll have the latest on that and warmer temperatures coming up right now at 5:30.
Dedicated to Southern and Eastern Kentucky, this is WYNT Mountain News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. Authorities in Michigan say a 15-year-old student is in custody after a deadly shooting at a high school north of Detroit. 3 students were killed and at least 8 other people were injured, including a teacher. CBS's Nichelle Medina has the latest on this developing story.
Oxford High School went on lockdown Tuesday afternoon as police and emergency crews responded to a deadly school shooting.
The suspect fired multiple shots. There's multiple victims. It's unfortunate I have to report that we have 3 deceased victims right now who are all believed to be students.
Authorities say the first call about the incident came at around 12:51. Police arrested the suspected gunman, a 15-year-old sophomore at the school, within 5 minutes and recovered a semi-automatic handgun.
He did not give us any resistance when he was taken into custody. He's not telling us anything at this point in time. It's a very tragic situation, obviously.
As shots rang out, students hid under their desks and barricaded doors.
You never want to prepare for something like this, but you have to. And the school district's done a wonderful job preparing. All the doors over there are marked at the high school. If you've seen them, deputies responded. They knew where to go.
Frantic parents raced to the scene and were later reunited with their children at a nearby grocery store.
It's very terrifying for me because it's like you want to send your kids to school to get a lesson, and you feel that when you send them to school, they're being protected.
Police say the shooter acted alone, and at this time, they don't know his motives for the attack. The FBI has joined the investigation. Nichelle Medina, CBS News.
And of course, there will be more about this on the CBS Evening News tonight at 6:30. Jurors in the sex trafficking case against Ghislaine Maxwell heard more from Jeffrey Epstein's former pilot Tuesday. Larry Vasaki took the stand and testified about the high-profile passengers he flew on Epstein's plane. They include former President Bill Clinton, who Vasaki said he flew, quote, a few times in the 2000s. Back in 2019, a Clinton spokesperson confirmed 4 trips on the plane, but he said they were in connection to work for the Clinton Foundation. Clinton has not been accused of any wrongdoing in relation to the ongoing trial. Authorities in Alabama have questioned a former FedEx driver after hundreds of packages were found dumped in a ravine. Investigators say the driver left the packages there at least 6 separate times. That means FedEx is a victim of 6 different property theft cases. Authorities say there are also about 450 individual victims. FedEx says the driver no longer works for them. The shipping company is attempting to deliver as many recovered packages as possible.
Well, we've been watching a few clouds move into the mountains over the last little bit here, but that's actually a good thing for a couple of reasons. One, it means we're seeing a pretty nice sunset out there. From our Buffalo Mountain camera, you see the sun lighting up the underside of some of those high clouds, producing those red colors, the orange, and in the background, some of that yellow fading to purple and blue there. So a great shot there from our Buffalo Mountain camera. Mid-50s, by the way. Same thing at London Corbin Airport, where a similar story out there with some of that sun setting there in the left side of the picture for a pretty nice sunset around the area. Temperatures are still mild, mid-50s for most right now. A couple of mid-40s as you look over towards Wise, Virginia. Satellite radar, keeping us on the dry side as we've gone through the daytime hours today, and we'll continue that through tonight. But we do have those clouds increasing ahead of shower chances. Mid-30s out there. though we could go a little lower if those clouds take a little bit longer to move through the area. I'll have the latest on when those rain chances begin to move in coming up in just a bit. Steve?
All right, Evan, thank you. After a tragic year of events in Madison County, city leaders are trying to bring light and joy this holiday season by going all out on decorations. Anna Bernison tells us more about their Light the Way theme.
Spearheaded by Richmond Tourism Director Lori Tatum and the Richmond Chamber of Commerce, Light the Way is an initiative this holiday season for homeowners and businesses to bring light by way of decorations to everyone in the community following several tragedies this past year. For Mendy Goebel, the Director of Chamber of Commerce, she has a personal connection to this initiative as she lost her son, father, and her best friends, the Hagers, all this year.
We lost friends. The whole community lost friends. They lost entrepreneurs. They lost risk takers. They lost people who made a difference in this community, that gave to people and took care of people.
Now the biggest addition to Richmond's Christmas lights this year is a new 17-foot tall Santa statue. It was purchased by Assistant Madison County Attorney Rodney Davis, and it sits on top of the Glendon Hotel, holding a sign that says Light the Way Richmond. They hope this will help encourage people to continue making a difference.
Just like Chris and Gracie did, be givers, be, just do nice things for people. And so that's what we thought would be really cool this year.
And while many in Madison County have had a tragic year with loss, they're staying optimistic of the future ahead as they honor those through Light the Way.
We've lost a lot, but there's always a lot to be grateful for as well. And the way this community came together and were there for Carly and for, their family, it was amazing.
In Richmond, Adam Bernison, WKYT.
Community members will assist with the tree and courthouse decorating tomorrow alongside their teams from the road, fire, and maintenance departments. The CDC has expanded its vaccine guidance to recommend all U.S. adults get a booster shot as concern over the new variant known as Omicron grows. President Biden warned Monday that Omicron will reach the United States. The strain has been confirmed in at least 19 countries and territories since it was first reported in South Africa last week. The big question now is if the current vaccines will protect against Omicron.
People don't realize we're more susceptible today in this country as a whole because of the number of people who are now 6, 7, or 8 months out who have not gotten their boosters.
Economic powerhouses Japan and France are reporting their first cases of the Omicron variant, while new findings indicate it was already in Europe close to a week before South Africa sounded the alarm. With the discovery of the new variant, more countries are cracking down on the spread of COVID-19. Across the pond, commuters in the UK's capital city of London face a fine of £200 or approximately $265 if they do not wear a mask on the underground rail lines. It is one part of a larger mask requirement expansion as masks are once again required on all public transport in the country and in stores. How those are going to be enforced is unclear at this time. The future of abortion rights in America could hang in the balance. Tomorrow, the U.S. Supreme Court will hear arguments about a Mississippi law currently blocked from taking effect. WYMT Washington News Bureau reporter Peter Zampa tells us what is at stake.
Dobbs v. Jackson Women's Health Organization is the abortion rights case many have circled on their calendar. Legal experts and those on both sides of the abortion argument say this is one of the most consequential arguments of this term.
50 years, and we're finally having the conversation on why Roe v. Wade should be overturned.
Mississippi Attorney General Lynn Fitch wants to dismantle precedent set in 1973 when the landmark case Roe v. Wade made abortion constitutional. The Mississippi law she's defending calls for a ban on almost all abortions after the 15th week of pregnancy. Pro-choice advocates say 15 weeks is well before viability, a fetus's ability to live outside the womb. Fitch tells me her team will argue decisions on abortions should be made by state lawmakers.
They're the voice of the people. So this should be returned to the people.
But why is the High Court taking up an issue that appears to fly directly in the face of settled precedent? The bench now has a 6-3 conservative majority. It's a concern for Hillary Schneller, who's arguing on behalf of Jackson Women's Health Organization.
Every single argument Mississippi makes for overturning Roe is one the court has considered and rejected.
Schneller says the facts in this case are not different from those argued before the court over the last 5 decades. But now she says the stakes could not be higher. If the court sides with Mississippi, a number of other similar state laws blocked in court could go into effect. Schneller believes this would cause deep harm.
This will require people in Mississippi to travel across not one but 2 state lines to access a state that has legal abortion, and that's just not how constitutional rights work.
Arguments are set to begin Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. Reporting in Washington, I'm Peter Zampa.
Well, here's some news that may surprise you. Dr. Oz is running for a U.S. Senate seat in the state of Pennsylvania. The cardiothoracic surgeon and television personality's announcement came in an op-ed published earlier today in the conservative Washington Examiner. Oz, who is running as a Republican, is an Ohio native, but he attended medical school at the University of Pennsylvania. The 61-year-old joins a primary field that already includes at least 2 Republican opponents. The winner in the general election will succeed retiring Republican Senator Pat Toomey. U.S.-born performer and civil rights activist Josephine Baker is making history again. 46 years after her death, Baker has become the first black woman, the first performer, and the first American to receive a place in the Pantheon. French President Emmanuel Macron called Baker an exceptional figure who embodies the French spirit. Baker married a Frenchman, and in World War II, the French government recruited her as a spy. Her fame served her well as she was able to pass coded messages hidden in her sheet music. Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, as the holidays approach, so do the dangers related to the season. We take a look at how to keep your home safe from common holiday hazards.
And it's going to feel more like October as we head into December. I'll have the latest on mild weather and shower chances straight ahead.